Hey everyone, I'm Mark Packard. I'm a business professor at the University of Nevada, Reno. In these wild times, there's a lot of uncertainty. For some of you, this uncertainty may be extremely difficult to handle. Well, uncertainty happens to be my expertise, so let me share with you some thoughts from my research. There are a lot of uncertainties and none of them are quite alike. Generally speaking, there are two ways of dealing with uncertainty. You can try to mitigate it or you can try to manage it. Mitigation strategies basically try to tackle the uncertainty by collecting the information necessary to turn it into a sure bet. If you're uncertain about the weather tomorrow, it's pretty easy these days to check the forecast generated from advanced technologies. But sometimes uncertainties are too large and complex to be mitigated by information gathering, and some uncertainties can't be mitigated at all. People, for example, are inherently unpredictable. We have our preferences and routines, of course, but we're always capable of changing our minds, of trying something new. When uncertainty can't be mitigated, like many of the uncertainties in the current situation, the best strategies are uncertainty management strategies. There are several of these management strategies you might consider. One is an options strategy, what we sometimes call hedging our bets. If you don't know what to do, have contingencies so that if you guess wrong, you have a backup plan ready to go. For example, what if you or your child did get exposed or even contracted the virus and had to self-quarantine? Do you have a viable backup plan for that? But option strategies are only effective when there are just a few likely scenarios. Some uncertainties are open-ended. There are countless possibilities of what could happen. When will we have a vaccine? When will it be safe to open things back up? When will the governor give the green light? In fact, if 2020 has taught us anything, it's to never expect that things can't get worse. When we don't have a limited set of possibilities, we can't really make contingency plans for everything. In these cases, uncertainty navigation techniques tend to be more effective. These techniques would have you take smaller, lower risk actions and to carefully watch what happens with the goal of reacting quickly to new information as it unfolds. So, what might this strategy look like at this time? If you're a business owner, how do you navigate the uncertainties in regulation, in demand and supply, and so on? Well, start by making small, safe bets, short-term commitments with suppliers, and smaller inventories, for example. Then pay close attention to the changing environment. How are consumers changing their preferences in the changing environment? How might those preferences change in the near future? What can you do to help consumers with their new problems? What are the regulators looking at doing? How would those proposed changes affect your business? How can you prepare? How are suppliers getting affected? By committing very little up front, you're reserving resources for the very likely adaptations you'll have to make. Or what if you're an employee that has or might lose your job? Now what? Well, you might get your job back after the lockdowns end, right? Or if not, or if you're not sure, maybe it's time to start investing in the future. What kinds of jobs are most important to people now? Which ones will be critical after the lockdowns end? Can you do any of those jobs well? If not, how can you get there? Invest in yourself. Make yourself valuable in a way that will matter in the new normal. Your brain is a learning machine. You can learn all kinds of skills if you put yourself to it. Don't just expect that the world will find a use for the skills you already have. Be proactive. Go and develop the skills that the world needs. As long as the world needs what you can do, you'll always have opportunities. An uncertain world is a tough place to live in, but the human brain is uniquely powerful in dealing with it. Put it to work for you. Take smaller bets and adapt. You can survive this, and you will end up stronger for it in the end. Thank you.